What's up, beautiful people? It's your homegirl, Miss Shameless, all up in Sweden. I finally made it. If you have been following my journey, you know the struggle. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. Thank you. Thank you for being, one, so patient with me, and two, if I have been MIA here, I do have another channel with my husband, Max, called Max and Maya Living over here, which you can check out. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I am posting more consistently with my day-to-day happenings, but so much has been happening. And this video is addressing my pregnancy journey, and I am 39. And although the pregnancy itself has been smooth, being a new immigrant, being pregnant, and doing a lot of transitioning, mainly from city to country, learning a new language, it's been a lot. So I'm super grateful for today's partnership. This video is sponsored by BetterHelp, and it is an online service with professional licensed therapist. I'm currently using their service because I am going through so much transition, and it's getting to a point where I need help. BetterHelp will assess your needs and help match you with a professional licensed therapist. Now, it's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's counselor network, which may not be locally available in your neighborhood, and it is available worldwide. This is perfect for someone like me who lives on the countryside, who doesn't speak the language here, and I do need help in my language. You can log into your account at any time and send a message to your counselor, and you'll be sure to get thoughtful and timely responses, and you will no longer have to wait awkwardly in a waiting room. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, and they make it easy and free for you to change counselors if you need be, because sometimes people write off professional help when they might need to reevaluate if this is the right match for them, which has happened to me previously in the past. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Make sure you visit betterhelp.com/shamelessmaya and sign up to get 10% off your first month. Thank you, BetterHelp. No, for real. Okay, we're gonna get into this. So being 39 and pregnant for the very first time is a very intriguing conversation. In my previous video where you found out where I was pregnant, I had a lot of questions of, aren't you afraid? Aren't you concerned? You're older. What are your fears? How did you address them? I have a video on finding out I was pregnant. You can watch over here. And I also have a channel with my husband called Max and Maya Living over here. But yes, I was afraid. I was afraid mainly because of the way our society in North America is set up, where 30s, 39 is old. And it's interesting because here in Sweden, where I'm currently living, you're not considered high risk until over 40. And so the bar is different depending on where you're going. But when I look at my own lifestyle choices, I have always, throughout my adult life, made healthy, conscious choices. Backtracking, when this whole pandemic started, I kind of whoa, you need to really focus on your health. You're already health conscious, but we gotta get healthier because your immune system has to be on top. So despite being what I considered healthy, I cut back even more on processed foods. I was eating a lot of vegetarian processed fake meats. I cut that out. I stopped wearing nail polish. I was a nail polish girl, and then I realized, I'm like, girl, what are you putting on your nails? That goes directly into your system. Get rid of it. So I stopped wearing nail polish. She's wearing makeup right now, but at the time, I stopped wearing makeup. I just was like, oh, natural. And I was also eating whole foods, whole unprocessed foods. So I was staying away, again, from things that had a bunch of ingredients and I didn't know what was in it. And I focused more on produce. So vegetables, fruits, things that I could see. I'm like, oh, that's what that is, versus, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing that in the start of the pandemic. And then towards the end is when I got to be reunited with my fiance here in Sweden. And while I was here and we had to leave to go to Mexico, all of that again is on our channel. We were just doing our best to live our best life. I was in a very happy, fulfilled place. And I like to think that being conscious of my health and being happy, like I'm with the love of my life who just fills me so overflowing with love. And the baby, the pregnancy was a byproduct of that. We weren't trying. If anything, we were shocked because we had to leave Sweden, our home, and we did not plan on getting pregnant in Mexico, which is where we got pregnant. And so the past few months I've been, pregnant all over Canada and traveling, and I was stressed out because I was getting bigger and I was just asking myself, where am I going to have this baby? Is it going to be in Canada or is it going to be in Sweden? I don't know. So in terms of answering your question, was it hard to get pregnant? I don't believe so. But if I give you a little backstory, I was previously married when I was younger and I did not get pregnant. I never once had any pregnancy scare. But when I think about that chapter of my life, I was stressed out, just not happy. And I was dealing with a lot of pressure, like, why aren't you pregnant? Just pressure. And I'm just like, I know why I'm not pregnant. It's because I'm stressed out and my body's like, we ain't doing this personally. So for me, I did not get pregnant at that chapter in my life. And when I look at where I am now, it happened like that, kind of. But within a few months, we got pregnant of being reunited. So I like to think that my health and my happiness and my stress levels were all optimal. I am more comfortable in my skin. I know who I am, or at least I have a very good idea at this point in time of who I am. I'm not struggling. I'm not trying to get my footing. I have a solid foundation to build on. And I think that's something that I probably could not provide if I was younger. So the pros and cons of being older is like, yes, you might be higher risk depending on your lifestyle and your family history. But I like to think that your entire life has been preparing you for the birth, whether it's a child, whether it's a project. So when a lot of women fixate on how did you get pregnant, how do you get fertile, it's just like, focus on you and your well-being. And when you are so full and so fulfilled, I think it's a formula for success. I don't work out anymore in terms of like at the gym or like doing all these. No, she lives on the countryside, so my workout consists of gardening, DIY projects. I'm on my feet all day long. I'm not sitting at a desk that demands like, you better go to the gym, trick. But I do need to stretch more. I woke up in the middle of the night with a Charlie horse just raking at my calf, just a solid 5 minutes. I remember waking up screaming, and Matt is like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I didn't even know what was going on because I was half asleep and I couldn't even speak. And when I finally did, I was like, my calf, I have a Charlie horse. And then I had to pause. I was like, Maya, if you freaking out now, wait till that baby comes. And I'm like, so I started to breathe. I'm like, and then I fell asleep. And then in terms of like, while I've been pregnant, I have been taking multivitamins. I have this one, I'll insert here. Now the gag is, I've only been taking 1 capsule a day. It wasn't until recently that I read the directions. Again, I'm like, wait a minute. It says 1 capsule 3 times a day. So I've only been doing 1 when you're supposed to take 3. And again, yes, like all of these things are good. But I think what overrides everything is this and this. I've seen some of the most healthy people, be so aware of the toxins that they're not putting in their body. But then if you're constantly worried, constantly fearful, constantly stressed, you are creating and inducing your own internal toxins despite your healthy living. So I am very mindful of what's going on in here and here. So that's just a little tidbit of info for the women who have reached out to me on tips on how to get pregnant. I mean, put your health first on all levels, mentally, spiritually, and physically. Okay, what I'm reading. I'm currently reading this. Focus. This book is so good. Whether you plan on having a home birth or a hospital birth, read this. If you can get your hands on this, ladies, read this. It is literally all here, okay? Starts with your mind. And fear plays a huge factor. And a lot of us we're not even aware that we're afraid. But the minute you have the tools, girl, just get your toolbox together. And sure, it could go out the window, whatever. But at least you have it, okay? So I highly recommend this. I'm only on page 46, and there's only 165 pages. So I'm a third. I mentioned this in my previous video. This is a fun book. I enjoy it. I will say this. Even if you plan on having a hospital birth, try to not throw the book away. Try to be like, okay, girl, we get it. You have a thing for natural farm births. But the information is good. And I've been finding it challenging on books to recommend or share with you guys because despite me wanting to have a natural home birth, I think it is great to have the options of pain medication, a hospital, all of these technological advancements. But that doesn't mean you can just be like, you figure it out, hospital. Do not give ownership or responsibility away for your body, your baby, your delivery. That's all I want to put out there for women. It is a huge undertaking you're about to do. And pain, no pain, there's still a thing called trauma, okay? Traumatic experiences. And yes, they come and go, but the body remembers what happened, even if you don't. So I would highly recommend to take responsibility and ownership by education. And then you go through the motions and then, God does a little giggle. But at least you did your part. And the thing that I'm noticing or I'm seeing is a lot of us are just allowing other people to figure it out for us. And I'm like, no. I've come across way too many horror stories to sit back on this one. And I think that comes with age too. I can say that now as a 39-year-old woman. I couldn't be saying this stuff way back when. Those books are helpful. Oh, this app. Christian Birthing. So good. Such a good app. And I listen to it in the mornings. Not every morning, but they have gratitude and creative visualizations, encouraging scriptures, visualization exercises, positive affirmations, prayer for strength, relaxation music, postpartum encouragement. This is so, so good. I identify as a Christian, even though not all Christians identify me as a Christian. That's another video. Very good app. I was listening to lots of podcasts. Actually, there's this one podcast that I actually really like. It's a little bit old. Pure Natural Pregnancy with Sarah Keene. I'll link it in the info box below. And I believe she only has 23 episodes. I really like it because it's grounded in professional, informative resources without it telling you it's this way, it's that way. It's just informative, and I liked it. Some of the podcasts I've been listening to are just very natural, natural, natural. Yes, I'm a natural girl, but if something were to happen, I don't want to be afraid of the hospital. Like, I'm already afraid of the hospital. I don't want to be more afraid. If anything, I will say throughout this pregnancy journey, I've been opening my mind up to hospital delivery, mainly because I realize that I have power and I have control. Very good app. And talking to friends. And talking to friends that are doing what you want. There's a lot of horror stories out there. And in the beginning, I was just like, I didn't know I was about to get a horror story. But the more I hear, I'm like, wait, pause. I don't know if I want to hear this right now. Maybe I'll ask you after. So I called my friend Latoya Forever. And this woman is a queen when it comes to these births. So her first daughter, Latoya, I hope you don't mind. She had a video on her channel about this, but her first daughter, I was there when she found out she was pregnant, and I believe she had a natural birth at a birthing center. And I was like, how long, like, tell me about your labor story. And she said it was, I believe she said it was 5 or 6 hours for her first birth. And I'm like, girl, 5, 6 hours? What eras did you do? And she's like, number one advice, Maya, when the pain kicks, because it will kick in, she's like, do not fight it. Surrender to the pain. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. I believe I can do that. And she's like, you know those yoga balls? Get a yoga ball and just roll on it and just surrender to the pain. And I was like, okay, that is tangible, useful, easy information that I can hopefully keep in my head. I knew I wanted a home birth, but I live on the countryside, 3 hours away from Stockholm, 1 hour away from the nearest hospital, and there were no midwives. I could not find a single midwife. So I put a post on Instagram stories asking anyone for help. I was Googling in Swedish. Like, I was trying to find these women. I'm like, what do you even call a midwife in Swedish? Barnmorska. And I found a midwife, but she wasn't available to help me with my home birth. She was, however, available to coach both Max and I remotely online until we found a midwife. Oh, Sapita, thank you so much. I came to Sweden. I was literally a wreck. I was an emotional wreck. I have never been this vulnerable. I always say that every time I'm vulnerable. I've never been this vulnerable in my life. And it was just so much to handle. And not having a midwife and not having support, I don't have familiar family. I was just a wreck. And we were following each other on Instagram. And she's like, Maya, just let's book a session. And I was like, you do that? Yes. So we booked a session, and I was just bawling my eyes out of gratitude. And she just provided support, emotional support, which is really important when you're feeling lonely and you're pregnant. Us pregnant women, we need all the support we can get. If you have a friend who's pregnant, text her, call her, help her. She needs help. Trust and believe. I did not know that. And so my heart goes out to all my friends who were pregnant and I wasn't aware. So I'm super grateful for that. And then I found my midwife who can help me deliver at home. And her name is Renee. And she's 2 hours away. So for those that have been pregnant before, you know that it takes us some time to fully dilate. So that is more than enough time for, come, please come. And not only that, Sapita is like, girl, you need to get yourself a doula. Well, she didn't say those words, but get yourself a doula. So I was like, I would if I could. I can't find anybody. I found, prayers. I found a doula. Her name is Frida. And she also lives by Renee, 2 hours away. So I have the dream team. I'm so grateful because I felt so alone, so isolated, and so dumb. Like, you can read things in a book, but I was just like, who's going to help me? And yes, I want a home birth, but even if I wanted a hospital birth, it's an hour away. And I might even end up at the hospital, but it's an hour away. I know so many women. The irony is, I know women who planned for hospital births that ended up giving birth at home. And I know people who planned for home births that ended up giving birth at the hospital. So that's another reason why I side eye authors that are like hospital births are like evil, and they don't really say it that way, but it's so negatively skewed. And I'm like, this does not help me if I have to go to the hospital. Like, I don't want to be afraid of going there. So these past few months has been a rewiring of my view on hospitals. And thankfully to Sapita, because she's a midwife both at hospitals and at homes. And she's like, no, you can take ownership of your birthing experience. And when Max asked her what we should have in the hospital bag, like there's the standard stuff, but she's like, bring LED candles, bring aromatherapy, bring a yoga mat, bring things that are familiar that make you feel cozy, that allow you to have some ownership of the hospital room. Because when you don't bring any of those things, you're a guest at the hospital versus y'all are in control, and you can be if you want. And these are the tools to help get you there. And I'm just so grateful, because if you don't know, you don't know. And the more you know, the more you have responsibility and direction as to where this is going. And it's not trying to undermine anyone, but this is your baby, your body, your birth. You can make some calls. I'm just saying. Listen, I don't play. When it comes to life, I don't play. Okay? You know, I don't need to necessarily learn the hard way. People make enough mistakes out there, and I do too, but I'd rather learn from your mistake than my own. So that's what I'm gonna do. What else did you ask me? Oh yeah, what am I eating? I mean, I eat fruits and vegetables. I also eat grilled cheese sandwiches and kombucha. Actually, not so much since I've been here in Sweden. We always have a smoothie first thing in the morning, oatmeal, and we have our ginger shots, lots of water. Actually, not really. I drink water, but I probably should drink more. What else am I eating? Seaweed. I have seaweed. Before I left Toronto, I stocked up stems and roots. If you're based in Canada, stems and roots is the ish. I got I think 4 bags of seaweed that I've been soaking and adding in my smoothies every day, almost every day. And seaweed is great for you. What else have I been? Red raspberry leaf tea. The specific combination of nutrients in raspberry leaf make it extremely beneficial for the female reproductive system, helping to reduce fibroids. It strengthens the uterus and pelvic muscles, which some midwives say lead to shorter, easier labors. Yes! Whether you're working out, whether you're reading books, whether you're eating healthy, none of that means ish if your mind and soul aren't in alignment. You know, I've seen a lot of women online, these like gurus and yogis, and you would think that they're gonna have a smooth birth. I'm noticing a trend, like they all have drama, and I'm like, yo. And then the women who are, you don't expect that from, you don't expect them to have a smooth birth. They're having a smooth birth, and I'm like, what's going on over here? Like, do not underestimate the underdog. And so what I'm realizing, at least this is my own personal observation, you can do all the things you want, but if you don't get it in here and in your heart, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many multivitamins you take. It doesn't matter how much algae you take. If you are creating a toxic environment with the thoughts that you think of fear, stress, worry, doubt, even if you work out and you fit, again, the contrast of what I see of healthy people, but if your mind ain't right, you're still like, you're almost working against each other. So you can do all those things, but number one is your mind. I like to think. But if you can do all of it together, why not? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Pregnancy has been great. Where is she? I don't know if you can see her. This baby is the cutest thing ever. Like, the baby is kicking. I don't know if it's a girl or a boy. We don't know if it's a girl or a boy. It's kicking a lot. It's like actually, I should film it because my belly is like, you can see it moving. And I'm like, it's moving. Like, I remember when it started to like move. I don't like when people do this. Like, I don't like, that grosses me out. Like, when Max was like caressing me, I don't mind doing it to him, but when he does it to me, I'm like, stop. I like firmness. Like, I like being like firmly held or like firmly massaged. I don't like these tickle sensations. This baby was tickling me, and I was like, ew, it's tickling me from the inside. What are you doing? It was so gross. Like, I didn't know what to do, but eventually I got used to it. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, oh, this baby is throwing a dance party, because I can feel its arms and legs on opposite ends just going at it. Thank God my baby just lets me live my best life, to the point where I'm like, Maya, even Max is like, you do remember you're pregnant? Because I'll be like standing up on certain precarious situations, building stuff. Max is like, Maya. I'm like, I know. And even I have to be like, Maya, you're pregnant. Like, if not for your own sanity, for your baby. Yeah, so we're just here on our home doing some DIY projects. And that's about that. Make sure you follow Max and I on our channel, Max and Maya Living. Make sure you turn your notifications on here so you know when I upload a video. And if you have tips and tricks, any information about pregnancy, please share it in the comments below for all the mamas out there. And congratulations to all you new mamas. And remember to do you, be you, and stay true, boo. Be shameless. Whew. Look at these titties. Look at these knockers.